The moment you give a woman your emotions, you lose your dignity. Men lose themselves the moment they hand over their emotions to a woman. When your happiness depends on her approval, you've already surrendered your power. The Stoics warned us centuries ago, no one should have dominion over your mind except you. Yet today, too many men live like slaves to female validation, rising and falling with every text, every smile, every silence. This is not love, it's weakness disguised as devotion. In this video, you'll discover the harsh Stoic truth, why letting a woman control your emotions destroys your dignity, and how to reclaim unshakable strength. Most men don't even realize when they've fallen into the trap. It begins small, waiting for her reply, checking your phone every few minutes, letting her mood dictate yours. Over time, your entire emotional state becomes tied to one person's attention. This is not strength, it's dependency. The Stoics, especially Epictetus, taught that slavery begins in the mind. When you allow external forces to rule your peace, you're no longer free. A woman sensing this dependence will never see you as powerful. She may enjoy the control, but deep down, she loses respect for the man who cannot stand on his own. Think of it this way. If your happiness collapses because she cancels dinner, what message are you sending? That your inner world is fragile and your self-worth is negotiable. A Stoic man refuses to give anyone such power. True strength begins with recognizing the trap for what it is, a silent surrender of dignity. Once you see it, you can begin the work of taking back control. And that leads us to the next step, understanding where this weakness comes from and why so many men repeat the same mistake. Emotional weakness doesn't appear overnight. It's planted early through culture, media, and even family. From a young age, men are taught to chase approval, especially from women. Movies glorify the desperate hero who wins love by sacrificing everything. Society praises the man who proves his worth by bending over backward. And so, many grow up believing that devotion equals surrender. But the Stoics warned against this illusion. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, do not tie your happiness to things outside your control. Yet men still tie it to a woman's attention, creating an emotional leash that weakens them. Take an example. A man cancels his own priorities just because she calls. At first, it feels like love, but in reality, it's training the mind to obey external commands. Over time, he forgets his mission, his values, his strength. This is why so many men feel hollow after breakups, not because of the loss of love, but because they never built a foundation of inner control. To break free, you must first understand this conditioning. And once you see it clearly, the next question becomes, what can a Stoic man do to reclaim control over his emotions? That's where we turn next. The Stoics knew that the only true power a man possesses is mastery over himself. Epictetus was born a slave, yet he taught that freedom lies not in external conditions, but in the mind's ability to govern its own reactions. A man who governs his emotions is unbreakable, even if everything else is stripped away. When it comes to women, this principle is vital. If she gives affection, remain grounded. If she withdraws it, remain grounded. Your peace must not rise and fall with her moods. Imagine two men. One anxiously waits for a message, his heart racing with every notification. The other continues his day with discipline, reading, training, working, unmoved by silence. Which man commands respect? Which man appears stronger? The Stoic man does not suppress emotions. He orders them. Anger, desire, fear. He doesn't let them dictate his choices. Instead, he asks, is this within my control? Does this serve my higher purpose? If not, he lets it go. This inner control is what women subconsciously admire, not blind devotion, but unshakable stability. But self-mastery is not possible without another weapon, one the Stoics valued above all, discipline. And that's where we turn next. Without discipline, emotions run wild. And when emotions run wild, control is no longer yours. It belongs to whoever can push the right button. Many men don't realize this until it's too late. A A simple text can ruin their focus. A single rejection can shatter their confidence. Why? Because they never built the shield of discipline. For the Stoics, discipline was not punishment, it was protection. Marcus Aurelius woke before dawn, reminding himself of duty. Seneca trained his mind to expect hardship. Discipline meant living by principle, not by impulse. Consider this. A man who skips his goals just because she wants attention teaches her that his mission is negotiable. But a disciplined man who keeps training, working, and learning, even when she demands otherwise, communicates something far greater. His life has order, and she is a part of it, not the center of it. Women may resist this at first, but in truth, they respect it, because discipline signals strength, and strength attracts far more than desperation. Discipline is the armor that prevents emotional slavery, and once this armor is in place, the next step is even more powerful, transforming pain itself into fuel for growth. Every man will face rejection, betrayal, or disappointment in love. The weak man collapses under this pain, begging for another chance, clinging to what has already slipped away. But the Stoic man does something different. He transforms pain into fuel. Seneca once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor strengthens the body." Pain is not an enemy, it is a teacher. When she leaves, when she ignores you, when she tests your patience, this is the moment to grow sharper, not weaker. Think of a man abandoned by the woman he thought would stay forever. Most drown in self-pity, but the Stoic sees opportunity, time to train harder, build his career, deepen his wisdom. Every tear becomes a drop of iron forged into strength. The truth is, women admire the man who does not collapse when hurt, not because he hides pain, but because he uses it to rise higher. A man who cannot be broken becomes magnetic. Once you master turning pain into power, you unlock the highest level of control. And that brings us to the final Stoic lesson: how to become truly unshakable, no matter what she does. The ultimate Stoic strength is not coldness, it is unshakable balance. To be emotionally untouchable does not mean you feel nothing, but that nothing controls you. Women may test you, life may throw chaos at you, yet your mind remains steady, like a fortress in the storm. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Imagine this. She insults you, hoping to spark anger. The weak man explodes. The dependent man pleads. But the Stoic man smiles calmly, answering only with dignity. His power lies not in reaction, but in restraint. A man who cannot be provoked commands respect. His silence speaks louder than desperate words. His composure unsettles those who expect weakness. This is why women gravitate toward the man who is grounded, because stability in a world of chaos is rare, and rare things are valued. To reach this state requires constant practice, training your mind daily, detaching from outcomes, and living by principle rather than passion. And once you reach this level, you embody the final Stoic truth. Respect is greater than attachment, and a man who guards his dignity can never be controlled. At the core of Stoic philosophy lies a brutal truth. Respect is worth more than affection. A woman may enjoy your devotion, but she cannot truly admire a man who abandons himself for her approval. Attachment without boundaries always leads to weakness. Marcus Aurelius warned, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. When you give away that power, you trade dignity for dependency. And dignity once lost is almost impossible to reclaim." Think of two men. One begs for her love, sending endless messages, promising to change just to keep her close. The other stands firm, acknowledging her choice, but refusing to betray his own principles. She may leave the second man, but she will never forget him. Why? Because strength leaves a deeper mark than attachment. Women test men not to destroy them, but to see if they can be shaken. The Stoic man proves through action that he cannot. His mission, his discipline, his values remain higher than temporary emotions. And that is the final lesson. When you guard your dignity above all else, you don't just earn respect, you become untouchable. Now it's time to bring these truths together in our closing words. Outro. A man loses nothing by keeping control of his emotions, but he loses everything the moment he gives that control away. The Stoics knew that true freedom lies not in love, not in approval, but in mastering the self. Women may come and go, but your dignity must remain unshaken. Remember this: love her if you choose, but never let her rule your inner world. Your emotions belong to you and you alone. If this message resonated, subscribe now and join us as we uncover more brutal Stoic truths that shape stronger men. Your journey to mastery begins here.